welcome back to Ghosting with Anya. I'm your host, Anya Smith, also the author of Anya's Ghost Stories Volume 1 and Volume 2, The Return of the Dead. I also have my co-host, but he just got back. He's downstairs. My cat is right here. My sweet little girl. And he's coming right up. So, what a day today. It is so hot out. And yesterday I had to walk, so it's all good. Well, not yesterday, but Friday. Or something. Actually, no, wait. Maybe yesterday. Yeah. It must have been yesterday. So, anyway, we've got a new story for you guys tonight. So it is called The Professor in the Observatory. If you guys think this might be relatable to any of my stories, these stories should be related to all these events. So, it's something to do with the previous professor of the observatory or whatever. It's something to do with a lot of spirits. There's a lot of spooky in the observatory. So anyway, today was an amazing day. I went to my friend's house and just relaxed, watched Charmed, and I just hung out with my friend. He did his podcast, but it was a bit short. It was like maybe 6 minutes, maybe more, a little bit more than that. But he did his podcast, and then he's taking a break until next week. So Chris is supposed to go to the bookstore that I used to work at. It's called Two Dads in the Bookstore. But
now I'm gonna be helping clean it out.
Yeah, but see, the bookstore actually got shut down because it no longer got any money, like any support. So we didn't get enough money for it, and it's like the supporters pretty much stopped supporting us. So this is why we shut down, and bills were like getting piled up with the internet, electricity, the water bills, that sort of thing. My husband says, in helping throw things out, yes, we are going to go back to the bookstore right across the street from the Oak Creek apartment. Also, we are gonna get the dumpster, get the keys, and start cleaning the whole thing out. So hopefully Fearless, who is watching this show right now, I hope you are watching my episode. You're always welcome to join us, join me and my husband Chris. He also says, earn extra money, pay for the boat. Yes. We are trying to save some extra cash for the boat, like for next year's cruise. So that is the reason why we want to go back to the bookstore and get everything cleaned out. So I spoke to Fearless about it, and he loves the idea. Anyway, I'm also making either slippers or socks. I'm not sure which one, but we'll find out once it's done. So I found a bunch of ways, but I think I found the actual way to make them. It's kind of like the same way I have made handbags. So this time I'm making socks or whatever. Oh, my husband also says, soon as I have the key, see the dumpster, Captain Christ coming in. What the hell?
Chris. Me.
Yeah, but you said Christ.
Sorry.
You're funny. Anyway, but yes, my husband is going to be at the bookstore soon. He just needs to get the key. He needs to get the dumpsters so he can start trashing things into it. And I have to clean up the place. I have to vacuum everywhere, hopefully. We got the electricity back on, the lights back on, but we just need to get everything out of the bookstore, except for the desk and the cash register with an iPad attached to it. Do you think we have to leave it there?
No, I think the iPad's fearless says so that we can take.
Yeah, except for the cash register. Do you think it's his too?
Yes.
Then he has to take it with him. So, but anyway, are you guys ready for the new story? Because I'm about to read some stories. I hope you guys are ready for it. Let me know in the comments down below if you are. So I just want to say thank you guys for being here on my channel right here on YouTube. And happy summer to you all. It is really hot out. So hopefully that Chris and I will go to Kansas City for haunted trails, the Sally House, and some food and relaxation at the hotel as well. So anyway, get something to drink, just relax. Also, please click like, share, and subscribe. And let's continue with all this. He also says, eat at Joe's barbecue, you get hot dog and having ribs and brisket. That's exactly what we're doing. So let's get started on the story. I hope that this story will make any sense to you all. So I hope it makes sense to me and my husband, Chris. Anyway, just sit back, relax. Please click like, share, and subscribe. And let's get started on the story. The Professor in the Observatory, Season 5, Episode 187. Fearless, if you're watching this, you are always welcome to join me. You are always welcome to participate. Anyone who's watching this show, always welcome to participate and join me with the story and questions and answers. So let me know if this makes any sense. So let's get started. I hope you guys love this because I love paranormal. I started doing ghost stories. I started watching ghost TV shows when I was in high school, and I've been like that ever since. So let's get started. Naomi agreed to cover the night sessions at Briar Hill Observatory because no one else wanted the winter astronomy outreach shift, and because she believed solitude under a dome full of stars would feel restorative. After a semester of departmental politics, the observatory sat on a ridge above campus with one old refractor telescope in the public dome and a smaller archive room full of logbooks, charts and instruments no longer in use. By day, it hosted school groups and amateur sky watchers at night when snow hardened around the path lights and the dome motor hummed. Against the dark, the place felt cut loose from ordinary time. Naomi loved that. She loved the brass fittings, the paper star maps, the ritual of opening the slit and letting the cold sky line itself up with machinery built to follow it. The first unexplained events seemed almost flattering, a correction penciled into her observation notes where she had mislabeled a star's declination in a hurry. She assumed another staff member had reviewed the page. Then it happened again. In a logbook drawer, no one else had opened the sky day. Next one of the old equatorial charts she'd left on the archive table. Overnight was rolled and returned to the exact cabinet slot used in the 1950s system, not the modern one. Naomi asked the observatory director, who still remembered the legacy filling scheme. He looked at her over his glasses for a long moment and then asked whether the corrections were made in blue pencil. When she said yes, he sighed. Years ago, the observatory's lead professor, Dr. Lionel Mercer, had been famous for three things: exacting celestial calculations, contempt for sloppy notation, and a willingness to stay at the dome all night if atmospheric conditions were good. He died during an overnight observing session after recording a comet transit. He insisted no one else had timed correctly since then. Staff occasionally found coordinates, corrected charts, reshelved, and once, according to the director, a student's thesis draft marked with an invisible hand on compromising edits. Yeah, this is a little freaky, but hey, if I were that director of the observatory thing, yeah, I would follow that previous professor's advice. I would take it literally. I would try and figure out how did this observatory professor done this thing. I definitely would figure out how he did it. I would go through his notes and find out more. Especially reading his journals, this is how people would find out. Naomi, who already worked in academia and thus felt she had endured enough dead authority from living professors, resented the possibility on principle. Yet the observatory insisted if she entered a wrong date in the weather column, the next page would be turned down to the exact error by morning. If she aligned the public telescope a degree of for convenience during outreach, the clamp would slip until she redid it properly. During one snow-heavy evening, after a class visit canceled and she remained alone in the dome, she heard someone descending the spiral stair from the archive room above. Measured steps, cane tap every third step, then silence. No one emerged. But at the eyepiece, she found the telescope already repositioned to an object she had meant to show on the next clear night, and not yet entered into the schedule. She looked through and saw a planet floating so sharply in the field that she laughed aloud despite herself. "Show off," she muttered to the empty dome. Somewhere above, a drawer shut with brisk approval. The first true sighting came through the dome glass rather than in the room itself. Naomi was closing after an outreach event for local middle schoolers who had bombarded her with good questions and sticky fingerprints. While logging the evening's data, she noticed in the reflection of the dark dome wall a man standing by the transit clock in a waistcoat and winter coat, one hand tucked behind his back, the other holding a blue pencil. He was older, angular, and severe in the way some brilliant men become when they mistake precision for personality, yet there was excitement in his posture as he looked up through the slit. Not toward Naomi. She turned. The space by the clock was empty in the reflection. He remained and wrote something on the chalkboard near the stair. When she faced the board directly, no writing was there. Facing the reflective glass again, she could read it clearly. "The variable is wrong, not the sky." Funny. That sentence led her back through weeks of data from a long-term student project everyone had been quietly assuming had failed because the brightness fluctuations did not fit predicted models. Naomi, tired and increasingly complicit with the impossible, reworked the equations under the reflected oversight of Dr. Mercer. He never spoke at first. He pointed, circled, tapped the cane once when she reached a wrong assumption. By dawn, Naomi had discovered that the calibration issue was in the imported software model. not the actual observations. The students hadn't been wrong. The model had the next faculty meeting suddenly turned in her favor because she arrived with corrected plots and a blue penciled old man confidence she had not possessed the week before. She did not mention the dead professor in the dome. From then on, Dr. Mercer's presence became oddly collaborative. He appeared only on clear nights when the observatory's purpose could still be honored, and only when Naomi worked with real attention rather than administrative resentment. Sometimes his reflection stood beside the refractor. Other times he appeared seated at the archive table, rechecking century-old transit logs, as if embarrassed the living needed him. Once during a meteor shower, Naomi heard him laugh, a short, disbelieving sound. When three students volunteers lay flat on the deck to watch rather than crowding the eyepiece, it changed him for her. He was no longer simply an exacting ghost professor. He was a mind still startled by the sky after death, which is perhaps the most human thing a scientist can preserve. On the anniversary of his final comet observation, she found his original notebook open on the page where the last line ended, mid-sentence beneath it, in fresh blue pencil. Someone had written, still visible. The observatory director retired the following spring, and Naomi unexpectedly took on more responsibility for the place than she had planned. She accepted partly because of funding, partly because she had come to love the ridge, and partly because leaving the dome felt like walking out mid-conversation. She instituted better data, discipline, restored old notebooks, and without public explanation placed sharpened blue pencil beside the transit clock each evening. It was gone by morning. More often than not, visitors sometimes ask whether the observatory is haunted because old domes make people hopeful for romance in their science. Naomi usually says only that the building dislikes careless notation. The full truth sounds too ridiculous until you've stood under a moving slit of winter sky and been corrected by a man dead long enough to know ego has no effect on planetary motion. Even then, the best part is not the haunting. It is that his awe survived as rigor. Wow. This is so amazing. And something tells me that Mr. Mercer was the observant guy on the planet. He loved astronomy. He loved um, looking for new planets. He was a scientist, of course. And if I were him right now, I would do the exact same thing. I mean, now that the story's done, I hope that this story made any sense to you guys. Isn't that beautiful story that you have ever listened to? I mean, Mr. Mercer was the legendary observant guy with astronomy and observatory things. So apparently he studied a lot of planets. Perhaps maybe it happened the night he died, I guess. So now that the story is done, we are going the questions with answer. I hope you guys brave enough to get whatever you needed. So now that the story's finished, we are going straight to the questions with answers. So let's get started. Oh, he also said that don't let the ghost eat my ribs in Kansas City. Chris, why would you assume a spirit would eat your food in Kansas City?
Because those ribs are amazing.
Yeah, but they were made out of animals, not humans. You don't realize that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would never let a spirit do any weird shit. Unless they're like trying to figure it out how to communicate with the living and trying to finish their work. Just like Dr. Mercer. He was amazing. And his first name was Lionel. And his last name was Mercer. Okay, that reminds me of a friend of mine. I have a friend named Hannah Mercer, and her mom's name is Linda Mercer. I mean, she's amazing. Linda Mercer and my mom used to work together a long time ago. So, no wonder why this story could be almost related to anyone. I doubt it. So, anyway, let's get started on the questions. If you guys have any opinions about it, please let me know. If this kind of related to your kind of stories, let me know. If you had any experience about it, let me know. So, I mean, literally, I probably would have taken that job if I wasn't a YouTuber or if I wasn't a store manager or whatever. Or a TikToker, you know, like content creator, TikTok person, that sort of thing. So anyway, let's get started on the questions. I'll try my best to get some answers for you guys. We only have about 10 questions and 10 answers. Let me know if this makes any sense to you guys. Would you keep taking night shift at the observatory after the first corrections? Yes. My answer is going to be yes. You know, I wasn't finished with this, right?
Yes, I'm sorry.
You thought I was?
Yes.
I was not. So, anyway, my answer would be a yes. Sorry about that. Every time I try to finish this question, my husband literally cuts me off. And that almost tries to make me want to get more pissed off. Like, literally. So, anyway, if I were one of these people who would take the observatory jobs with the planetarium kind of thing, I totally would. I mean, I would communicate with the spirits. I mean, I would take an advice from the actual spirit named Dr. Mercer. Dr. Lionel Mercer, yeah. I would definitely take his advice. If I wanted this job, I probably would have. Let's go to number 2. Do you think Dr. Mercer stayed for the science, the standards, or the awe? I think he would wanted to stay for the science, not just the standards. He was trying to correct the line for the telescope. And my husband says all 3. It could be, yeah. I think it might be all 3. So, oh, sorry, I almost did that thing because that I hate that thing sometimes. Oh, sorry, I had to find that thing. Great, I have to go back to the damn thing. Now I have to go back to the episode 187. Damn thing. Sometimes this thing just keeps acting up because of someone clearly cutting me off.
Sorry.
It's okay. Why would you think I was finished?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Please just tell me why.
I wasn't trying to. I was just trying to answer the question.
Well,
I thought it was a simple yes or no question.
at least I could have finished it before you answered it.
Okay.
I have to. If people are supposed to wait till I was finished, then they would answer. Sorry, I'm just getting really mad that my husband is literally thinks I was dumb, but I wasn't. So let me find the answer. The question. We're still on episode 187. Almost there. Sorry about that, guys, but he just loves cutting me off.
Stop saying this on camera.
Well, you know it's true. I'm sorry, but I'm getting mad because you weren't supposed to cut me off.
I'm getting mad on camera.
You know I can. There's nothing wrong with it. And I'm not trying to be mean, guys. It's just he just literally didn't think this would have been a big deal, but you're supposed to wait until the question was done. So, okay. Now we're done with the question. Now we're done with the answer. So here's number 2. Still. All right, guys. We are on episode. Okay, we are still on episode 187. We are in question number 3. Sorry about that. I almost lost this episode. Anyway, what was more unsettling, the blue pencil edits or the reflected figure by the transit clock? I think it was the reflected figure. I think it was a ghost. For me, it was definitely the reflected figure by the transit clock. Like I'm like seeing the spirit without actually scaring the crap out of it. So what was more unsettling for you guys who are at home right now watching the show? Is it the blue pencil edits or the reflected figure by the transit clock? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Does this story make any sense to you guys? Just leave me comments down below. And let's go to number 4. Why do observatories make powerful settings for ghost stories? That's a good question. I think it was the memories, all the history. And Dr. Mercer was the best observant guy. He was like a scientist, and it brings him a lot of memory. And he took his job very seriously. Yes, that is true. A lot of observes. Yes, it was. So I think it definitely. So it's he took his job very serious. If I were him, I would definitely do the same thing. Well, I'm doing the story here because I've listened to a lot of ghost stories on YouTube for years, like 10 years, maybe more than 10 years. So, and I can be like observant a lot. So, Dr. Mercer, he studied a lot when he was alive, especially when he was in college. He definitely studied a lot of planets. Well, it depends. He was like astronomer. He's a planetary guy. He's a scientist. That's what he was. And he loved it so much, he became what he was dreaming of for a very long time. Ever since he was a child, Dr. Mercer got his dreams come true. He became the observer guy, the planetarium. He built that building. He built a lot of things, especially with the telescope. He focused, he imagined it, and he took a lot of time in all the creation. He observed every single thing, especially the sky. He observed the stars and all the planets and everything. So, this story is actually an amazing thing. I mean, if I were him, I would take his advice and do the same thing. Let's go to number 5. Okay, guys, we have 5 questions left before I sign off. And it's already 18 minutes after 9. I gotta get cleaned up and get ready for tomorrow. Was Naomi right not to tell faculty how she found the calibration error? Yeah, I think so. If she would have, things would have gone wrong. Kids would have done something, or a lot of directors of the observatory pretty much fucked it over. They would have not believed her, or they would have done something different. If she had told them, things would have been fucked up. The spirit probably would correct them, but I think she did the right thing, yes. Of course she did. Let's go to number 6. What do you make of the line? The variable is wrong, not the sky. That's a good question. Perhaps the answers were wrong. So the spirit of Lionel Mercer took the matter of his hands and corrected everything. And Naomi somehow saw everything. She was so observant. Maybe she, I don't know, found the notes of the spirit and she copied everything and she finally honored him. Well, she probably did the exact same thing he did. Like, just to honor him by continuing his work. That's exactly what Naomi would have done. And I think that's what she has been doing now. She decided to help the spirit correct all these answers in the notes. She read them, and she did exactly what Lionel Mercer would have done when he was alive. So she did the right thing, yes. Let's go to number 7. Can intellectual passion outlast death in a place built for observation? Yes. Of course it can. So, my answer will always going to be a yes. I mean, if it hadn't, things might have been different as well. So things would have fallen down, and things can go wrong at any ways. Let's go to number 8. Would you accept help from a dead professor if it improved your research? Yes, it could. I definitely would. Would you accept help from a spirit?
Yes.
I definitely would. So, we're almost done here, guys. I hope this question made any sense to you. So, anyway, I definitely would. Let's go to number 9. Why does scientific exactness make this haunting feel believable? That's a good question. It makes it scientific because a lot of scientists are curious and observant, and they have to witness it by themselves to see if they have to believe it by seeing it. They have to have experiment or something like that, and take notes as well, like that sort of thing. So that's why it makes it believable. They have to do all the research, experiments, and witness everything. They have to document a lot of things. They have to write the stuff in their notebooks. They have to. This is how they did it. And it's part of the job, but yes, they have to be very smart. They have to be a genius or something like that. Okay, guys, we are in the last question before I sign off. If awe survived death, what kind of work do you think it would keep doing? Well, if it did survive, I probably would think it would continue on doing the exact work that Mr. Mercer was working on. Still observing, like doing the research about planets and everything. That's exactly what he would have done. I think he would have been the best observing the planetarium guy. I mean, if Odd did survive death, but it would have done a lot of things, different things. It would be easier, like say, finding the cure, maybe being, very observant and stuff. He would have been the hunter, or he would have been, he would have been a great scientist. Or he would have been an astronaut. He would have been anything. So he would continue doing everything that he dreamed of. So, and that's what Dr. Mercer did. He dreamed up and he got what he wanted. He grew up, went to school. He went to school, grew up, got a wonderful dream of his dream job, and a family, and he made a career of his imagination. And he became a wonderful researcher, like the best scientist on the planet until his death. So the way I would do is continuing on his work, continue working on his research. That's what I would do. Help him move on into the afterlife and continue honoring him by doing his work. Continue on his job. All right, guys, we are out of time. So just want to say thank you guys for watching and listening. And Chris, thanks for participating on this.
Thanks.
So now it's time for me to sign off and get ready for tomorrow. So tomorrow's episode, we are doing the code check at the Savoy. I think that's the name. But yes, we're going to be on episode 188. So thank you guys. Have a wonderful night. Stay safe, stay spooky, and have fun. Stay cool, of course. Stay hydrated. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night at Ghosting with Anya on YouTube, right here on live stream. So please click like, share, and subscribe. And good night, everyone, and stay safe. May God bless you all. And kids, stay in school. Parents, please protect your kids from anything that could hurt them. Protect them no matter what. Keep an eye on them, and everything is going to be all right. So I'll see you guys tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. Thank you guys, and good night. Bye. Please click like, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful night. Good night. Bye.